Oh, I forgot to hit live as I had the intro planned. So let me do the intro again. All right, now that it's live. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, y'all, that beat. Woo, that beat was bringing out that Memphis 10 out of me. You know, back in the day, that 901, that Memphis 10. Yeah, I'm from East Tennessee, the bless your heart. But when it comes to bullies, look, I'll pull out that 901 on you and handle you. I don't do bullies. How do y'all feel about bullies? Y'all do bullies? No. You're muted, Nashida.
I said sometimes I have to admit I could be a bully sometimes. And I don't know. It's like if somebody starts bullying, I automatically want to match that energy. I love it. I'm like, oh, you're a bully. I grew up with y'all.
No, and that was going to be our first question. Were you a bully or bullied as a child?
About my family. Look, if my family's watching this, don't y'all say nothing because y'all know how we are. But it
Uh,
wasn't like, it was just kind of like, your family could say stuff to you and do stuff to you, but other people can't. They could be like, oh, you stupid, da da da. But if somebody else say it, they're like, who you talking to? Like we grew up with those. I grew up with those folks. You had to have a thick skin. They were gonna help you grow it too.
and I think
You-
for when we were growing up, like I know Nashida and I are the same age. Grace over here is the baby. Got us feeling all old. I
I don't feel old, baby.
remember I remember really using the term bully in the 80s, early 90s. It was, yeah, you were being teased. You needed to get that,
Me.
yeah, you had to have thick skin. And Nashida, as you were saying, like with family, right? It was just that constant banter. That's how I look at it. But when we look at the definition of bullying, it's an aggressive behavior that involves an imbalance of power between the bully and the victim. So, look, I have kids, old kids now, and I actually told them, when they were in elementary and when they would come home talking about bullying, I was like, okay, let's really understand what bullying is. Bullying versus teasing versus a child being rude. Right? Because there for a while there was this whole debate about a kid being excluded from certain activities. And like to me, that's not being bullied, right? Like if you don't invite my kid to the birthday party, your child's not bullying my kid. They just ain't friends, and that's okay. What's y'all's thought on that?
Grace.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a difference between like kids who are just rude, like they don't know how to say certain things, right? It comes out not right. And then there's teasing, which kids tease. I mean, they find fun in that. And then there's bullying, the like intention with malice bullying. And so, yeah, there's definitely a big range of that. Um, I will say when I was in school, I would say when I was in high school, even like eighth grade, middle school too, we had a bunch of sit downs in our school where they would like talk about bullying and like how it can affect people because we did have like a long string of kiddos who were committing suicide because of bullying. And so it was like this big wave of it, at least like in our city, in our town. And so, yeah, it was a thing. It was definitely a thing in my schools.
Yes. And Grace, I want to touch on that in a few moments. But let me pause and give a shout out to our sponsor, USAA. We want to say thank you to USAA for being another fabulous sponsor here at Middle Spouse Conversations, helping us bring the tea to you. Now, if you did not know, USAA does have a military spouse resource hub with all types of resources for you. So head on over to www.usaa.com/military spouse. Get information on finances, on PCSing, on oh, I thought you said something. Did you say something? Am I echoing?
You echo just a little bit.
Oh, okay. See, look, the computer is bullying me. Let's see what Soldier's Life had to say. Yes, I think people can overuse the word, but to me, bullying is when kids or a person is being mean on purpose or being shady with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Grace, to your point about the number of suicides with teens with bullying, the movie 13 Reasons Why, and I did write this down. I had this written down in the corner from my notes. Yes, Grace, I'm getting my life together.
That's good.
That's
good.
Grace is always like, focus, Sybil, focus. Did any of you watch that movie?
Yeah, I watched the show.
Did you watch it, Nishita?
Mm-mm.
No. What were your thoughts on it, Grace?
That's a hard one. I think that the type of bullying, I think it had bullying and then it had a lot of like essay stuff. And so it kind of had both in it. And those are like two different things. But as far as the bullying aspect goes, I think it did portray it pretty well. You know, there were people bullying certain kids. And I mean, it did show what damage it can do to people, you know. But I also think it showed it in a very high degree where people are like, well, that's bullying. This isn't, but it may still actually be. So it kind of, it went both ways.
Yes. I watched it with two of my three girls. I didn't watch it with my youngest at that time, but I did watch it with my older two. And we sat down and had open discussion. And I think that's important for our preteens and our teenagers, even our younger kids. But the movie 13 Reasons Why, because they were teenagers in high school, my kids were not yet in high school, but it was important to sit down and have those open conversations. And I think sometimes as parents, we forget that we need to take the time to sit down with our kids and listen. We always want to respond. I'm that parent. I've had to learn. Shut up. Just shut up and let your child listen. So how do y'all handle bullying when it comes to your child? Oh, actually, I just got a response from one of my children who was watching the show and messaging me privately. She said that she watched 13 Reasons Why, the one who I didn't watch it with. So I don't know when she watched it or who she watched it with. But as you're watching, my child, tell us your thoughts on that movie. But Nishita and Grace, how do y'all handle bullying when it comes to your children from elementary, middle, and high school?
When I had my sister, we didn't necessarily have like a sit down talk about bullying, but she would tell me like if so and so said something or so and so did something that made her feel a certain way. And we did dissect that in like, okay, are they just a rude person in general? Did they mean it directly to you to hurt your feelings or to make you feel a certain way about yourself? So yeah, it's the same thing with like figuring out what was the intention behind it, and is this a bully or is this someone who just says what they say and don't realize their tone or the implications from it. As far as my littles, My youngest hasn't. She's just too young. Millie, my older one, she actually, I would say, dealt with bullying in a very small way when she was in pre-K 4. And she has medical issues with like her belly and all those digestive system type stuff. And so she goes to school sometimes and her belly looks like it's way bigger than it should be. And it's distended. And so she went one day and she came home crying after school because there was a little boy in her class telling her that she's fat and that her belly is way bigger and she doesn't look like the other kids because her belly's so big. And just continuously repeating these things to her to point that out specifically. And so in my mind, I see that as bullying, right? Like he saw something physical different and decided to continually tell her, you know. And so that was with intention, right? And it wasn't just like, oh, your belly's bigger and then it's dropped, right? Out of curiosity. Kids are going to be curious, I get that. But when you add a description to it and then you continue with it, then that kind of crosses the line to it. And so I had to explain to her, like, you know, some kids see differences and they point them out. And I was like, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your body. That doesn't mean, you know, those type of things, but in a young, very simple way because she's little, you know, and she's like, okay. And she was like, but then she was kind of thinking it and it crossed to bullying because it made her feel different about herself. And so she was like, well, not very many other kids have big bellies, you know? And so then she's comparing herself at that point. And so she's 5, and I'm like, at that age, you don't want those insecurities to set in, you know, and especially because it's a medical issue. And yeah, like I think that comes down to parents, right? Like that's a parenting thing. You need to talk to your children about it's okay to notice people's differences. Every body is different. Does not mean you need to bring it up to someone, and it doesn't mean you need to tease them about it. And so parenting goes both ways. Parenting because your child is experiencing the bully and parenting to prevent them from becoming the bully. Oh, you're frozen, Supple.
Yes. Now I'm going
You're good now, I think. You're good now.
okay. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, you froze for a second.
All right. So Nishida, how would you respond? Or what piece of advice would you give to a parent? Like let's say for the little boy that was bullying Grace's daughter. How would you tell a parent to handle their son in that case?
Their son.
Like or their child who was the bully. I'm trying to get my words straight, y'all. My words are not coming out straight today.
I feel like most of the time they got it from the house. They didn't just become bullies because they made it up. A lot of times their parents act like that at home and may not believe that it's bullying. They may not believe that that's bullying. So when you try to approach them, they're just going to write you off. Or you're being soft, or somebody came over here. They're going to want to fight you, or they're going to want to come at you. I think I wouldn't approach the parents because I like to always teach my child that what other people do is what they do and what you do is what you do. And like, you don't have to accept their energy if you don't want to, you know, have boundaries. They're talking to you, but you don't have to listen, you know, unless they get in your personal space. Defend yourself, of course. Defend yourself. But if they're just over there in their corner talking, let them talk to themselves. You do not have to engage. Now, if you feel the need to go engage with them, well, you're going to have to deal with the back and forth that comes with that, because they're probably not going to stop talking. They're not going to stop saying whatever they were saying. It might escalate into a physical altercation. You know, both of you guys will be said to be at fault by the authorities, whoever's in charge. So you just have to be willing to deal with the consequences. Now, am I going to be there to back you up? Yeah. Am I going to come there and talk to the parents? Yes. Because if I'm disrespecting him and all he does is speak up about it, I'm going to be there to say, hey, your child is, you know, crossing boundaries. They're not respecting other people. And that is a home issue. And I'm not going to back down from that. And it's so funny that these parents will come and they'll try to start an altercation with you. I'm here for it. You know, I'll show up. I'm going to be there, you know, because you can't just let people push you around. Now, I will say that if somebody's over there, just you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to give them any of your energy. You don't have to pay them any attention. But see, when you're a little child, like Grace was saying, it's so hard to like know that because these kids are you. They're like little versions of you, and they're saying things to you that you think that the kids think they relate to. All the kids are relatable. So if they're saying you're fat and you're stupid, well, that's going to get in their heart a whole lot more than if, you know, the child is saying you're sweet and you're kind, you know, because it's hurtful. And I think that it's just such it's such a tightrope when you're dealing with these issues because the parents are not always considerate, responsible, or accountable for what their children are doing. And when you address it, all of a sudden, oh, you're a little snowflake. No, I'm not. Like we're about to find out who's melting. You know who's gonna melt first. But I do like to tell myself, use your words first.
Yes. Because that's our role. I'm like, you know, if someone is saying something to you that you do not like, use your words out the gate. I don't like it. Leave me alone. Now, if they come and they want to lay hands, hey.
Hands are ready.
I'm not going to lay hands on a child, but my children, they've always had my permission to lay hands back. Don't hit first, but you can defend yourself. If you've used your words, you've told the other child to leave you alone, you've talked to the teacher, you've talked to me, all right. Sometimes I don't condone violence. I don't. But I mean, I've been there. I've had to lay hands before. Like, oh, okay, you just keep talking to me. You keep running your mouth at me. All right. I've ignored you. I've told you leave me alone. You just kept on. Then you roll up. Oh. Yeah, that was in my younger days.
And you know, I never had a problem with my son and bullying because you know, not one time, but a couple of times, the teachers tried to bully him. It's very interesting to me, but you know, he actually addressed the teacher. Like he came home and he said, and I asked her, like, "Are you talking about me?" Because you know how they like to generalize in the classroom. It was something he did, and then she started talking about it, and he just called her out. "Are you talking about me? What I did?" And she was like, well, and she tried to start saying it. He was like, well, I didn't do that. You know, and I felt like he's going to be okay. But he was never one to be bullied. Like, oh, my goodness, y'all. So can I tell a story?
You can tell. Okay? Hold that story. We're going to go to Grace's segment because we got to get all our segments in. Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it. What you told me one day. Put a pin in it. Nishita bullies me every week. We know it's on site.
I'm catch up with you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding.
Okay, hold on.
You mean to tell me there ain't no way?
Okay, so today it's a pretty quick one. It's about household items at Costco. So if you have a Costco, they have their new deals out to actually start today. They have a really great deal that if you spend $100, you get a $25 Costco card. If you spend $200, you get a $50. We're only going to focus on the $100 here. So if you spend $100 on any of these P&G products, laundry, toilet paper, all the stuff for your household, you get $25. So that's already a good deal on there, 25% off basically. There's also another deal that you can stack with this. If you go online to Procter & Gamble, png.com, they have another rebate that if you spend $50, you get $15. So you can get $40 off your $100 total of household goods. That is such a great deal. So go check out your Costco. And that's my There Ain't No Way for today.
Oh, I liked it, but I miss Costco. I don't have a Costco.
Yeah, not everybody has one. But if you have one,
I don't have Costco. Grace, you see, you're bullying me. I'm telling my mama.
I don't think she's gonna
It's
side with you, Sybil.
She's gonna be on our side, Grace. Probably aiming you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead,
I mean,
Nikita,
that's
and
what her
then we're
dad is
going
too
to
much.
talk about the next level of bullying because I have some more questions.
Oh no, just go ahead. It don't matter.
All right,
I was just gonna say,
so
it was just one time my little kid, he was little, my son was really little, and this little boy, I used to show up to pick him up. Look, I had to move y'all because my battery's dying. But anyways, so I used to come pick him up, and the little boy would be like, "That's my mama." And so the first time he did it, my son was like, so he's like, okay. Then the second time he did it, my son was like, the third time, he was two and a half. He gets in front of the boy, right? Because the boy used to come like hug my leg, or he come hug, and he just like stops and put his hand in his chest, and he was like, not, He was only 2.5. So he was like,
he's like, "No, that's
No.
my mom.
that's
My mom."
not again. Yeah, and the little
That's
boy,
funny.
because he would push him out of the way every time, and my son was like, "Is this a pattern? Because if it's a pattern, we can have this
Like,
up right
look,
here." And he's always kind of just been like that. Yeah, I never really. I guess I talked to him a lot when he was little, and then later, he just stands up for himself all the time. Even with me, I'm like, "Do you have to tell me you're not satisfied?" I'm your mom. But anyways,
Okay, so let's ask this question. Let's see what if our audience can answer this question. What country has the most bullying in school?
I have no idea. Russia? I have no idea.
Drop your response in the comments right now. We're going to give you 15 seconds. And the first person, actually, no. Drop your responses, and then Grace and Ashita will co-sign with you if they think you're correct.
Well,
And
Stephanie and Angela both said the US. That's what I would say. And the reason I would say that is because we have so much diversity here that there's a lot of differences for kids to point out and to see. So I would think that the US probably has the
ding,
most.
ding, 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 ding. The U.S. So guess what? Both of you ladies win some meal spouse conversations, and I don't have it with me.
That's okay.
You
It'll be a
have
surprise.
Right? It'll be so. Look for an
Surprise.
email. Look for a message from Meal Spouse Conversations to get your information, and we will get you something out in the mail.
It's only the U.S. because we count it more.
Maybe.
Well, it says in the U.S., 13 million students will be bullied in the U.S. 1 in 4 students will be bullied in school, and 1 in 3 will be cyberbullied.
Oh,
And that's-
cyberbullying is big.
And that's where there's been a difference from when we were in school as well, right? Like you dealt with it at school, home was your safe haven. Now, bullies have access to you 24/7.
If you're paying attention to them.
Mhm.
If you feel like you want to watch them or listening to them. But that's cyberbullying is hard because are they just commenting and trolling, or are they bullying? You know, do you have the ability to cut them off, or are they pursuing you from every angle? You know, like, are they just constantly, did you block them? Then they're steady there. They're still there from every other angle that you could think of, just showing up and talking to the kids. You know what I mean? Because kids could be very susceptible to this type of behavior, because it's like, what do you do once you block them and they don't want to tell their parents because they think they won't understand, and they, you know, their friends might be involved.
Or they think the child thinks they will be in trouble if they tell
trouble
their parents.
that too, yeah. Or they might get their devices taken away. So yeah, I think it's hard though, because it's like there's such a fine line between bullying and just being in the social space online, and the authorities don't really deal with it well. Bullying, like, now there are laws in every state.
And that brings us to, so we talk about the evolution of bullying from the playground to the internet, and If you go to our website, millspouseconversations.com, new blog post that came out today, or if you get our newsletter, it was sent to you in the newsletter this morning, just saying, you can read it. And it talks about the root of the problem of bullying is the lack of self-confidence. But let's scroll on down here and talk about adult bullying. We asked the question already, does bullying stop on the playground? We said, no, it goes into cyberland. But does it surpass childhood and go into adulthood? What y'all think?
I think bullying happens in the workplace, definitely. And I think if you're a public figure online, you can get cyberbullied by groups of people, I think. Or, but like, what's the difference between stalking and bullying? Is that the same thing? So you know what I mean? Because if it's one person, it's kind of stalking and cyberbullying, I guess. But if it's a group of people, is that like more bullying? I don't know. But I think in the workplace, it's really prolific because people with power can really change the outcome or trajectory of someone's career. And if
Or
they
people who
stand
want
up,
power. You also have the people who want power, who will bully
yes,
you.
that too, who will bully other people.
I
who they
experienced
don't
that in the workplace. I was, I don't know, like 20, I want to say, and I landed a really good job. I was trying to like, do the whole corporate thing or whatever. And I did get a better position. I was with the company and then I left because we moved and then we ended up moving back and I got with the same company, but in a higher position or a different position, I should say. But it did compensate more. So I guess it's a little bit higher. And the branch manager there seemed to have been what I see now as threatened as far as like, seeing someone younger move up, those type of things. And he began to comment on my eating habits, the way I was dressing, my weight, just like random sly comments through all of these things. So finally one day I decided to like stand up, for myself. And I said something back and it landed me in the office the next day, talking about my behavior and responding inappropriately and all of these things. I ended up leaving the company because I just wasn't going to deal with that on a daily basis. I knew my worth and it wasn't in that company. No dollar was going to keep me in a place where someone is going to be disrespectful to me and I'm going to get, the consequence of that. So I left, I didn't put in my 2 weeks, nothing. I was like, I picked a day and that was the day I'm done, and I got the call from the district manager and this and that. And I was like, this is what's going on. You can do what you will with that information. And, and he was like, oh, do you think maybe you were just too sensitive about those things or you took it the wrong way? I was like, that's your prerogative. If that's what you would like to sleep with at night, that is fine. I'm done with this company. Click, it's done. And so I think you do have to just be able to stand up to yourself because it does happen in the adult world, in the workplace, everywhere. And it can come from people just feeling like you're better than them without any regard for that, so. Yeah.
And I think that's important to also know in the military spouse space, because I actually, there's an article from last week, or maybe there's one that's coming up. I don't remember, but it was talking about dealing with people as a military spouse, right? Because we go into this, I didn't go into this life thinking, oh, everyone is going to be so supportive and everyone is going to have my best interest at heart. But I see it talked about so much in the Facebook groups. And I'm like, no, people are people. Actually, Grace, you said that a couple of months ago during one of the shows. And that has stuck with me for ever since she said it. People are people. And I mean, I've always thought that. I just never said it. See, we say the things that you're thinking here.
Right.
One another. But, it's like you're going to run into all types of people, no matter what type of community you're in. Right. So have I'm not saying you always have to be guarded, but know your worth. Know what you will put up with and what you will not put up with. But before we go, I'm going to do my segment real quick, and then we're going to do our scuttle. We're going to do this in a minute and a half. All right. real quick. Stroke talks. I'm going to talk about carotid webs, which is a rare cause of stroke, which is my cause of stroke. It is associated mostly with African American females. I'm African American, and female. And studies have shown that patients with carotid webs are much younger and likely to have more serious ischemic strokes than your normal causes, or what is deemed normal causes of ischemic stroke. So if you are an African American female, if there is any inkling of you're not feeling well, I didn't have any signs, have them check your carotid artery. That is something that a doctor had never checked for me. Like, that was never a part of my checkup. So just saying, if they ever mention anything about your carotid artery, have them dig a little deeper. That's all I got to say about that. All right. So for our scuttlebutt segment, I know I'm moving. I'm going to get this done, Grace.
That's good. That's good.
Nishita, why are you looking at me like that?
I was gonna say, I don't even see Nishita. There she is.
She was all leaning over in the cut.
It was just a blank screen. Okay, what's our scuttlebutt?
Mute it. I'm trying to get it up. Like, Grace.
I'm excited. I want to know what it's about.
So for the viewers watching, we want to know your thoughts on this, and also give us some likes, some shares, say thank you, give us some engagement, something. All right, so Marines, sailors to get more training on political do's and don'ts.
My husband was just talking about this the other day. Interesting. He's a Marine, for those that don't know.
Well, it was interesting to me because it focused on Marines and sailors. I'm like, what we do? What did they? But with the elections coming up, did y'all read the article? Because I did send it to y'all.
Yeah, I read it.
Nishita did not. You didn't read it, Nishita?
No.
Look. Bye, Nishita. All right, Grace. So let's talk about this real quick. So what I gather from this is our military members cannot participate in any political activities in uniform. Is that what y'all get from this?
Yes.
It's always
It's not
been
saying
like
they can't vote. It's not
not
saying they can't have a political view.
it's
Right.
always been like that. I don't know why. Like, that's not new.
I'll say this. I think this came out. It's not really Marines and Navy here, but we do have presidential candidates coming to our area, and we are in where this is an Army community, and the Army are allowed to wear the uniforms out in public at all times, and they do. It's heavy here. You see soldiers in uniform all the time out in public, and so I think it was a reminder more so than like a policy change or anything of don't do it.
Right.
And I think just the Marine Corps and the Navy came out more publicly with the reminder than what the Army did. But
It's been like that, because even if somebody approaches you and tries to like do an interview or talk to you, you're supposed to say, "Oh, I need to talk to the PAO," or you could talk to the PAO of the ship. I can't. You're not even supposed to be up there giving your opinions about anything like that. So, but yeah, like Grace says, probably like a friendly reminder, guys, because you will get in trouble.
Yeah.
And then you'll be thinking you're being, persecuted when it's been there all along. These rules have been there all along.
Yeah, so right here, I'm trying to highlight. Can y'all see?
Yes.
As individuals, we do not have to be politically neutral, but the Air Force and Space Force do, the guidance states. These rules help to ensure the DoD does not influence or appear to be partisan in our nation's electoral process. That was... Okay, so the Air Force and Space Force had something that went out in April. I did not click on it. But y'all see this article here, and I will even share the link in the comments that you can go check it out, read it for yourself, and let us know your thoughts on it. I, again, just take it as don't be in uniform.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, that's pretty basic. That kind of goes for everything in the military. I mean, if you're not at work, you really shouldn't be in your uniform. So, my opinion. But
My opinion, yeah.
yeah.
Unless you're traveling back and forth. Sometimes, and
Exactly.
in some places you can't even do that. They tell you no, don't do that.
Yeah.
So,
Here, yeah, nah, you're not wearing your uniform to and from work.
Yep.
All right, folks, thank you so very much. I hope we gave you some food for thought as we discussed bullying. We will continue this conversation because I think it's an important one to have, and we can dig deep forever. If you enjoyed this live, give us a thumbs up, say thank you. You can support us with buying us a coffee, and we appreciate all of our Buy Me a Coffee supporters. And be sure you to like and follow. I'm trying to find the link real quick. Where is it at? Do y'all see it?
Follow, share, please. I don't see it.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
buymeacoffee.com/MillSpouse Conversations, Cash App, $ Millspouse Convos, or just go straight to our website, Millspouse Conversations, and there's a link right there. All right. Have a great day, ladies.
Bye, y'all.
It's bedtime for me. I'm going to bed.
Are you going to bed?
You going to bed too, Nashia?
I've been up since 4:30.
Go to bed.
I got stuff to do. But look, I'm so sleepy. I keep nodding off. I'm like, and it's so hot here. It's like the heat just sucks your soul a little bit. Like every time you go outside, it'd be like, you're like, what is that sound? It's just like your. Then you just sweat it out.
You're a wimp. You're a wimp.
I'm not. I grilled yesterday. I ain't no wimp.
You're a wimp.
I grilled in the heat. I bet you didn't grill yesterday. I know where you was at yesterday.
Minding my business. That's where I was.
I know where you was.
Where was I?
You was minding my business.
Oh, you know what? Okay. You know what, Stephanie? We will actually we'll have an episode about the Space Force.
The Space Force, I think, is because they about to be doing some Star Trek stuff, y'all. And now they already started, and now they got them people up there stuck. They're like, yeah, we could totally. They're like, oh, sorry about that. We sent a Boeing plane up there. Our bad. They were supposed to be up there for like 8 days. I think they're not coming back till February 2025. Thanks a lot, Boeing. Thanks again. And if I have to fly on your plane, please don't take that.
See?
Seriously. Don't be mad at me.
Good night. Good night.
We out,
Good day,
y'all.
whatever it is.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I was like, just keep on dancing, keep on.
Well, you turned the music off, and then you just gonna come back live and just catch me? That's wrong. You're wrong. You're supposed to be ending the show.
Well, I mean, the video was over. That's how the music ended.
Nuh-uh, it still say live.
Well, we are still live.
Well, then what are you? The show over. Go to bed. Don't be.
Oh, thank you, Pamela Roddy. Good talk on bullying. Thank you. See, you know what? When I was bullied as a kid, I don't consider me being bullied as a kid. I was just picked on. And I remember my mama telling me one day, I went home crying. I went home a few times crying. Mama, I love you. But I remember, this is why I ended up laying hands on this kid, because my mama told me if I came home one more day crying, that that I needed to handle it, or she was going to handle me. So I said, okay.
Not that I'm gonna handle you talk.
So I said, okay, I got it. I didn't go home crying again after that. I was like, child.
Girl, one time my auntie sent me.
It was like, you either hit back or I'm gonna hit you, and I didn't want to be hit. I was like, Mama, don't.
You want to get beat up at home. Look, my auntie sent me to school one time in this little dress and these cute little shoes, and I went to school. And you know how you had the bangs and all. I used to have the bangs, have my hair done, and the little ponytails. And this boy was like talking to me in the line and going in the classroom. And girl, he called me like the N-word or something. I don't know. He said something to me. I think he said my dress was ugly. So I turned around and we started scrapping. Girl, why he pushed me down? My whole legs went up. My panties were showing. I was like, I was in what grade was I? Would think I was in third grade. I was in third.
You know what? Wait a minute. So you were called. You said third grade. You was called an N-word and got the scrapping.
Yeah, well, I got to scrapping, but he pushed me down. And I was like a turtle. But then I got back up. I was like, but then my bangs was like this.
So this is something that's interesting to me, and we are going to talk about this in a future episode about dealing with race when it comes to children. But I remember I was in 5th grade. I think I was in 5th grade, and I had this blue and white sweater. I love this sweater. And little boy took some putty, and he called me his words, and I still remember to this day, you're a black piece of coal. Ooh. But he took the putty, but it was just his tone, right? And it wasn't like, oh, you're black like a piece of coal. No, he was like, you black piece of coal, and took the putty and just smushed it into it was a wool sweater. And I'm like, oh. I was devastated, like just devastated, heartbroken, because how dare you? Right. How dare you? Mm-hmm. But, growing up for me, I didn't recognize that it was racism.
Yeah, me neither. Because when I grew up, they called every nationality something. So it was not like, the Chinese people got, the Vietnamese people got, the Japanese people got, the Jewish people got, the Arab people, everybody who had a race at the school had a slur, and people used it. Well,
we only had 2 races. You were either black or California, and maybe you had, and maybe there were 10 black people at my school.
Oh wow!
So if someone said something to you, you
do.
And there were certain families. There were certain families that you
knew they were going to be like that.
Yeah, you're like. Now, my kids, I will say this. I didn't say it during the actual show, but I'll say it in the after show. I was telling my kids about my young child life. They told me I was a bully.
You were the bully.
Not the bully. This is why they said I was a bully. I will have to admit that I've probably always been a businesswoman. So in elementary school, see, my kids take it too far. They're like, Mommy, you were a bully because you were charging people to be your friend and charging people to play on the playground. I was not. We had a club and you had dues. It was 50 cents a week. You had to pay $2 a month.
I don't think that's bullying because if they pay for it, that's on them.
Well, my kids said because for the kids who didn't pay, they couldn't play on the swings or play on a certain part of the jungle gym on certain days of the week. You had to pay an entry fee.
But you didn't build the play. See, they might be onto something there.
But
You might have been on some Rico stuff right there. I don't know. You over there, you the Don of the playground. You like no.
no, we had a club. It was a club. I had a little, the little cardboard box, pencil boxes. So I had one of those, and I would go to the dollar store and buy the little pencils that they had the good scent smelling pencils and
Yes, I
erasers and stickers. And I had the Trapper Keeper,
Yes.
and I had everyone's name written down, all the members, and if they paid, and they would get their pencil and their eraser every month. And then we had popcorn and Coke days.
Okay.
So if you were a star member for that month, the dues paid for one or two people's popcorn and Coke. When they would wheel the TV to the room. But see, that wasn't a bully.
It wasn't bullying, but it definitely was like clicky. You had a click. It wasn't even like a click. It was like I said, you was like the Don, like you was like a little mafia boss on the playground.
Everyone was welcome. Everyone was welcome. You just had to pay your dues. If you didn't pay your dues that month, you couldn't swing on the swing. Or you could swing on the swings, but you had to go to the other end of the playground for those swings. You couldn't swing here.
Oh my gosh. That is funny though. Did you have a big club? Is it a lot of people?
It was
Like, it was big enough for you guys to monopolize the playground.
There was harm in that.
They what?
There was no harm in that.
Funny.
Although my husband told me, he was like, I would not have been your friend back in school.
Mm-mm.
I was like, okay.
But if you wasn't playing dodgeball, kickball, foursquare, Chinese jump rope, I wouldn't have seen you anyways. I'd have been like, what they doing over there in the swings?
No, but we played dodgeball too, dodgeball and kickball. We played that too.
Did you have to pay to play?
No.
With y'all? Oh, okay.
No. I mean, we played, but we did have our meeting days. So our meeting days, we met like once or twice a week. And everyone knew, okay, here they come. Get off the swings. All right.
That was off the chain.
What? We were good. We were good students. One rowdy.
Okay.
One rowdy at all.
What? You weren't rowdy?
No.
You weren't rowdy?
No. They just called me Rowdy Roddy.
Right. See?
No, I was a
There's nothing
sweetheart.
wrong with that. People like you were just you were one of the original social media people. You were making Facebook groups before there was Facebook and MySpace. Which is
And
why you're here. You can tell. See, that's why you're here doing this stuff. You always
see,
done it since you were little. Yeah.
always done it. Always done it. It's just
I
in
didn't
my
have a
blood.
group. I was in groups, but I was never in a group. Like I just flittered around and talking to people, like from group to group. I knew a lot of people, but I wasn't a part of any cliques or anything like that. And then you can see that on my social media too. I'm all over the place talking to everybody, but I don't really like congregate well in one pool. Well, except for here. I think I'm okay here. With
Because
siblings.
because we're over here, like, yeah.
Exactly. It's very free spirited over here. Yes. Yeah, I would say probably if it was more regimented, I'd be like,
No, but the shit that
it's a
is
structure.
what.
It's not a. Some people, they have regimes. They like, huh?
Oh, you
What?
cut out. What did you say it again?
I said your show is structured, but it's not a regime. Some people have regimes. They have like you have to be like.
Oh yeah, no, mm-mm.
No.
I don't have that
No.
in me. I've tried. I have tried, and then I show up like this. I am a robot, and I'm like, no. Like, look,
You
we're
start off
here.
like this, and you be like, I'm not. What do no. And then I come on, it's all over. It's all over. You hear that little hook, do, and then Sybil gone. She's off the range. She went rogue.
Like, oh, my bad. But that's the one thing I'm trying to get people to see about Mill Spots Conversations, right? Like that we are here, we have a space for you to hold on. So, y'all, I gotta tell you this. My husband, he's always he responds to our family group chat with GIFs, right? But it's so funny because we're all like, dude, where did you get this from? He's like, y'all always picking with me. We're like, yeah, but please explain why you sent this GIF or this emoji. Like, why did you send this? Like, this is not appropriate this is not an appropriate response. He's like, oh, we're like, no, no.
So my dad, he uses the emojis any way he wants. Like if he sees it in his mind and he thinks it's something, he'll use it for that. And I'm like, that's not what that means. But I have an aunt who does it too. And she's like, why can't it mean whatever I want? And I'm like, because it's a social commentary. Everybody has to agree on, like you wouldn't say blue is pink. Like somebody wouldn't be like, oh, this is blue. And it's really pink. Like you put the laughing emoji because you're laughing, not because you're crying. But then you have the crying laughing emoji because you are crying tears. And then you have the just tears could either be I'm actually crying or like I'm crying laughing like so hard that tears are streaming down my face. Like you have different variations of them, but you can't just like you can do whatever you want, but when people don't understand you, you can't be mad.
Right. And that's how we were looking at him like, what?
My son will get me all the time.
I'm going to give this a
name. Huh?
I'm going to do MSC After Dark. Or no?
I know, because it's dark here.
The T After Dark. What? You keep saying it's dark here. Where's here, Nishita?
In my mind.
See, that's scary within itself.
Wait, hold on. Out there, it's dark out there. Wait, out there, the window. It's dark outside. It's dark. Yeah.
It's dark out here too.
I can't do mine like that. It's just some kind of blinds. I don't know what it is. Some kind of vinyl blinds. Just let me not do that before.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be
What were you doing?
tearing stuff up.
I don't know what happened up there,
Don't
something's wrong with the blind now.
don't tear it up. What is this? Oh, this is some mail. I need to throw it away. I wrote. See, look. I'm trying to get organized. You see all my notes?
I see your notes. I see
I've
you
been
trying.
taking. I'm trying to
a
take them off before the show to remain focused, but then I still forgot some things. Because you know what? The tea is all about just natural flow conversation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to
Speaking
be
of
rehearsed.
natural flow,
Yeah.
are you going to take me to get my nails done?
How am I taking you to get your nails done?
In my mind. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, I have a nail place because apparently.
What about my toes? I won't put them in the camera. But...
Oh, I'll show you my toes. Look at my toes. They are jacked. I need to do something to them.
What are you doing? I need some
You
toe
told me
rings.
about putting my feet in the camera, didn't you?
I didn't know. Put them
No,
up
you
there.
told me a few months ago.
Show 'em. Put them up
You
there.
was like, stop putting your feet in the camera.
Show them. Show them if you want to. Show everybody. Do it. Right.
But
Do it.
I do need a pedicure. I have 2 different color.
Yeah, I need a pedicure.
Because I was just trying to paint over an old pedicure that I had. So I was like,
Right.
oh, let me just paint over this. But now it's just a hot mess.
I was like, oh, your toes are cute. You're like gonna tell me, I can't see that far down. I can't see all the way that far. Like, wait a minute, I have to look all the way down at your toes for real. I just saw the red color. You're like, they're 2 different colors. Well, I don't even know.
Girl, yes. Just a hot
I need
mess.
a pedicure. Do you ever get tips on your nails? On your toenails? I've never had it, but I'm thinking about it.
No, I have not.
But it's like after you get the tips on and then you have to put your shoes on. Aren't tips just for people who always have their feet out? Because what if I'm upstairs like running on the treadmill and I'm going to get a lot of holy socks?
Well, I mean, all my socks are holy anyway. So, you know what? I take that back. I did buy new socks. When we PCS here, I did buy new socks because Grace got on to me about my holy socks.
Yes, I'm glad Grace got on to you because you need some socks that are not holy. Holy.
I like
Unless
my
they're
holy.
blessed.
They are
Blessed. As my friend would say. What'd you say?
My holy socks were blessed.
Okay, I take that. Blessed by the foot doctor.
Yes. Pastor Foot.
I just don't want that to happen. Because when you're running or doing exercises, that toenail hitting up against that shoe is not pleasant.
Well, look, I don't know nothing about running anywhere. Because I ain't running. If you ever see me running, you better start running too.
I'm running too. Even if I see a runner run, if they just run out of nowhere, I'm gonna run too. And when we stop, I'm gonna ask them why we were running. Why were we running?
I tell people, if you ever see me running, you just need to start running. Something is happening because I'm not running. Just run. No.
I gotta go. I want some fried chicken.
Did you eat all that chicken you grilled yesterday?
Yes. I think we ate the last of the chicken we grilled. But we grilled chicken. I grilled chicken.
Ribs.
Yeah, short like Korean ribs though. But I didn't marinate them long enough. They were just a little bit tough, just a little bit tough. But they were good, but just a little bit tough.
And you
And
kicked me out. And you kicked me out before you
I
grilled.
did not kick you
You know how
out.
2 weeks ago you were
You
talking
had to
about
go pick your food because you did
2
do that.
weeks ago, you said on the show, Sybil used to be like, well,
You know I'm not lying. That's why you laughing. Because you know you used to be like, all right then, my kid's home now. Time for me to cook this dinner. In your cute little southern accent. All right now. I knew what that meant. Every person, because my whole family's from down south. You know what that means when they say, all right now.
no, it
Because you
just
don't want it
meant,
to escalate. So, honey, you gotta go. Don't you got something? You don't want it
no,
to escalate.
it just meant the kids were home and they were gonna
Nope.
talk my ear
Nope.
off. They were gonna
That's
tell me all about it.
it meant, all right, you've been over here long enough. It's time to go.
But you know what I do remember? I remember now that as I say it out loud, it's gonna sound mean, but it's not. But you know, Wednesdays I used to nap. Every Wednesday was my nap day in Japan, right? And I
Yes.
was like, look, I'm not talking to no one. We can go out to lunch, but you can't come back to my house because I'm gonna eat and I'm going home
Going
and
home.
taking a nap.
Yes, and you were steadfast in that. But I was never come. I was going to work, so I come down and eat and go back to work. But you was steadfast. Like, don't be over here thinking you about to come over my house on Wednesday, because I'm gonna be asleep. You ain't gonna be here talking at me. Those, That's like. But see, I was going back to work, so I didn't even. I was like, see you later. Don't be coming up to the shop talking. You supposed to be taking a nap.
No, I used to come up there on Fridays though.
You did. That's true.
Just be up there just talking. Be like, dang,
Yes.
dude, I've been up here.
Yes. So many people had their day. They come up there and just be talking to me. And I always thought, do they think that I don't work? I'm just sitting here because I just be talking and talking. And I always thought they probably think I don't do nothing.
Hey, you were talking to the customers. You were talking
I was,
to the
but I was
customers.
also working while I was talking. I was getting
So
stuff
you were
done on the
not
computer.
listening. That's what you said. You were not
Yeah, I was
listening to
listening
me.
because you guys be cracking me up. Y'all come in there and say the craziest stuff. Y'all telling me all about what's going on in the neighborhood. Because people from all the way on one side come in, they talk to me. People all the way on the other side, because they have their different ranks or whatever. Everybody from the different regions will come in to tell me all about
The different regions.
the different regions of the housing community.
I don't know. I didn't leave my region. I stayed in my region.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The different regions will come in and tell me all about the cheese man and their factions, like what was going on between everybody there, or if it's seeped over. Oh, do you know what's so and so like?
Although, you know what? I did try to visit the other regions, but they were not very accepting.
That was hard. Yeah, I tried to make friends in the other region too, and they just like we became more in factions.
I was like, okay. I'm like, you're lost.
What's
Shit.
happening? Yeah, because I have a bad habit of compartmentalizing my friends. Like, so if you're my friend, you're my friend. Don't be acting like you about to hang out with my husband, because he
Oh,
can't.
okay. Look, I'm like, wait a minute. You don't want me to have other friends? I don't want to talk to your husband.
No, I
either.
don't care about that. Have all the friends. I see those things sometimes. I don't care if my friends have friends, but I don't care if they have best friends. I don't care. We still gonna be our type of friend, whatever. But don't be thinking you're my friend just for me. Just for me. You're not gonna be over here like, well, we all gonna be no, because I want my time. So if you're willing to make time with me and Carlos, okay. But I want my time too, because I got some shit to do. I got stuff to say, okay? I got things I want to talk about that he don't care about. That's what I'm telling you right now. He don't care. He don't care about.
Right?
But you do.
That's
You
I'm
do.
like, I have to be
We
like,
do.
Sybil. I have to be like, Sybil, really? What? I'm like, dude. He's like, I don't care. You won't listen to
Yeah,
me
'cause
anyway.
he has his own friends. I have my own friends. You know, I like that. And then we have mutual friends too. And I don't mind hanging out together. I don't. But it's just like, don't be trying to have too much time together. That's what I'm
You
saying.
know,
Like,
I'm
I
kind
need
of
like we going to the coffee.
we don't have a lot of couple friends. We have a few. Here we don't at all. But other places we've had one, two, maybe three couple friends. Or look, you know my friend category. So we have had some whole couple friends, right? I'm like, you're not really my people, but I can go eat with you. We can go eat as a couple.
I don't know. We have couple friends. You know, not at every duty station, but we've had them. But I don't know. My friends were always like my friends. He'll be like,
Yeah,
"Oh, are you going to be with your friend?" I'd be like, "Yes."
because there's very few people. There's very few couples that we've met together. I usually meet the wife, and he knows the husband because they work together. And
Right.
beyond that, we don't really mix. I mean,
Yeah, but
even in
it's
Japan,
kind of
when we first met, we didn't hang out as a couple.
no, because I
And when
was
I
like,
would
girl,
speak to your husband, I'd be like, hello. I used to think, he's like, Sybil, shut up. Stop talking.
oh
Because
yeah,
I'd be in the parking lot like,
like what?
hello.
He was like, hi. He'd be like, I saw your friend Sybil today. That's all he's gonna say.
He's probably
I
like,
saw,
man.
and then after a while, he'll just be like, I saw Sybil. It's changed from your friend to Sybil. I saw Sybil today. She said, hey.
He was probably like, doggone it. Sybil just bouncing around the corner. Hey, what you doing?
He don't care. He don't care because he one minded. He going to do something. He just oh hey, you know. Then he back on track. He going somewhere
Yeah.
else to do something else. But like, cause I kind of feel like it's like your kids, right? You know how sometimes you'll meet a spouse, but you know your kids ain't gonna like their kids. Like you know it. You already know it. You meet them, you're like, so I could be your friend, but my kids ain't gonna be your kids' friend. And it's just be like that. It's the
Well, you
same way
know
with
what?
the spouses. And sometimes they just not gonna be friends because just because they see each other on the boat doesn't mean they hang out in the same circles or know each other. So different ranks are different. Like the people in them are different. Like it's strange, but like you get one rank and they're just different types of people in that rank. And they don't really mesh with some other ones. Some do and some don't. Some cross pollinate, some don't. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just be like, my husband not really gonna hang out with your husband, but can we still be friends? Because I can't.
Right.
And then
We
it'll
we're
sometimes come around. Yeah.
cool. Our husbands aren't going to be cool. And with the kids, especially once your kids hit teenage years, I'm like, look, I am not trying to set up play dates. I have teenagers. If they need now, I will say, hey, like when we moved here, I did tell my daughters, hey, I met this lady on a message board. They have a child your age.
Mhm.
All right, cool. If they meet organically and become friends, cool. If they don't, cool. Because they're old enough to know who they like and who they want to hang out with. When they're little, when
Right.
they're young, they have to go, right? You're like, okay. But even with our
But it
kids,
still doesn't mean they're gonna play with each other. Like they might get into fights. They might not even like each other sometimes.
because
It's
I'm
just
thinking our kids, Now you have a boy, I have a girl, 3 girls. But they didn't talk to one another.
They were cool, but they didn't hang out.
Yeah, they didn't hang out. It's like in passing, hi, how you doing? Now that they're
Yeah.
grown, I might be like, wait, what who? Nashida, no, our kids are not hanging out.
No, that's funny because my friend Camille, like, I would go over her house in Italy all the time. And then she would come over to my house, and the kids always played together. She had 3 girls, and he was the boy. And they always just got along. Nothing ever happened. They were always really cool with each other. He was like, those are like his sisters. Those are like my sisters. And I don't know. I never felt one way or another about it, even though some people might be like, the boys are playing with the mixing the genders. But I think sometimes if you have an aloof boy, they really just be trying to play the game. Like, we're going to play the game. You want to play what you want to, you want to do this and that. And they really seriously thinking about that, not about other things. I think it's better. But even the older they get, if you have an aloof boy, like you can get away with them because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know better. And we already know they're going to be getting hit on all the time. And they're going to be like, oh, you want a sandwich? You want some cookies? Oh, here's a cookie. Oh, you want to go to the store? Okay, I'll take you to the store. Then there's like girls over there just like, yeah, let's batting their eyes and everything. And he's like, you got something in your eye. You know what? My mama always said to do like that. He's just over there.
Like, no.
Sometimes I tell him at work, I'm like, those girls are talking to you. And he's like, who? They was just saying hi.
You're like, okay, all right now. Go ahead and believe that.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen later in life. You going to be catching up or you going to stay chill or you going to be like making up ground for all the time?
Ding, 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 ding. The light bulb.
But I won't be around to see it. I won't be around. I just get to hear about the misadventures later. Because I'm sure he'll tell me later. Let me tell you what happened when Toto like. And then what happened? That's me. But I didn't have to I have to deal with it the teenage years. I missed out on all that stress. I did. No phone calls, no door knocking, nothing.
No dates.
I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, I'm like, who you going out with? Oh no, I need to meet. I was like, I need to meet him.
Yeah, see now I passed all that. I don't even have to now. I feel like, boy, that's what you doing over there for real. Okay, be across the world somewhere.
And it's weird parenting adult children.
Right, because I'll be his mom forever, but I really was only his parent for about 16 years. I would say about 15. I stopped parenting to him a long time ago.
You checked out. You was like, I clocked out.
I clocked out.
Well, the relationship is different. Like once they are adults, legal adults, the relationship is different. Because, y'all know, Nishida. For those watching, I just dropped our middle daughter off at college for the fall. She was gone for the summer because her program started right after 2 days before her graduation. But she arrived 2 days after graduation because of graduation dates. But I dropped her off in the fall, and she turned 18 on the 18th of August. And I'm like, okay, she is now a legal adult. So I'm like, all right, you don't need my permission. You don't need our permission when you going somewhere. But just please, if you go out of town, just send us a quick message and let us know where you're going and who you're going with. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so she loved this is their second week of school. First week of school, but second week of being on campus for fall summer semester, not too many people are on campus, right?
Right.
But fall,
I live in a college town. Yeah,
Yeah. So everybody's bad.
girl.
She's like, oh, but she will send us messages talking about, oh, I'm gonna go out. And I'm sitting here like, I really don't want to know. Like, I don't need to know this. She's not doing anything bad based on what she's telling me, right? But it's still like, I what part? Oh, you going to a what? Oh,
You do
Q
what?
party? Because see, look, I'm having flashbacks from when I was in college.
Yes.
I'm like, you going to a Q party, then an alpha party. Then her older sister, who's a junior in college, is like, okay. She chimes in. I'm like, okay, now you the mama. Now you her mama, telling her you want to act like mama.
She's older. That's why.
Yeah, I'm like, girl. So like you telling her everything I was telling you. It's you. I'm grown. Oh, but
She's a
Nancy,
mama.
that's my baby sister. I'm like, okay.
Yep, she's a mama now. You could just sit back. She's gonna tell him everything you ever told her. She's gonna get on him all the time. Like, they mama, and you could just sip your wine and be like, "What your sister said," or you can flip the switch and defend them, so she could be like, "No, because it was me. But it was me. You was."
I know, because there's been times I'm like, man, I'm like, no, it's okay. You can go. You can do. I'm like, why girl, stop telling her what she can't do. You ain't nobody's mama.
Right.
And then
It's
the
so funny.
baby, my baby is 16. And I'm like, oh, like the reality is setting, and she's a junior this year. And I'm like,
And
I have
had a
more years.
birthday, right? She just turned 16. She just turned 16. I know, she's so pretty on her birthday. Well, she always looks. She that makeup, girl. She got that on lock. All of them do,
Girl,
actually.
that
I feel like
makeup.
her.
Look, I'm like,
I feel like her and
makeup.
Jasmine do it up more than Ayla.
Girl, that wasn't makeup.
No,
She don't wear
she didn't have on.
She matching
eyelash.
like her mama.
She didn't have on lashes. She didn't have on nothing.
She may have had on some mascara.
Oh, mascara.
Maybe.
Well, I didn't mean a full face. I meant that she doesn't wear any makeup. She don't wear eyeliner. No. Wow. Look, God bless you, girl, because I did think you had on some makeup. Skin was looking good.
That she used to do her eyelashes, but she hasn't gone. So she has a eyelash tech, but she hasn't been there in a while. So she didn't have her lashes done. Girl, she has a whole face regimen. Every night and every day.
Well, it is working.
And then she tells me,
but Jasmine wears makeup, right?
Sometimes,
yeah.
Now,
Because I see her profile picture float across my who you would know line. I don't ever click on it, but I see her scrolling past. I'm like, look at you, girl. It's a good profile picture, girl.
No, she don't post. Why don't you post anything? She's like, I got that Facebook account when we were in San Diego for babysitting gigs. I'm like, what? She was like, on the Facebook. She's like, on Facebook, because in San Diego, right, we were living in military housing. And so she's like, which Helen put her onto it, to joining some of the Facebook groups, neighborhood Facebook groups for babysitting jobs. So she's like, okay, that's the only reason I have this Facebook account.
My two men, they're men now. You ain't gonna find them. You might find them, but ain't gonna be nothing there. They're there, but they ain't doing nothing. They like, where we gonna eat at? That's what you're using it for. It's called social media, not restaurant medias.
Right. Or as I
Use
say,
it.
or as I say with mine, you just don't post anything public that I see. Because I'm like, I don't know what y'all really be doing over there.
No, they not. They not. Because if you try to, no, you're never gonna. My son don't be there. He's just not there. He's a ghost. He's not even a ghost. He's just not there. And if you ask,
But
him, well,
that's what I tell my girls.
yeah, he'll be
I
like,
say it to my
make that
girls.
when
I'm
I
like,
was 9.
I tell my girls all the time, I'm like, if y'all don't really post on your public profile, but what do you, well, their profiles aren't even public, but the ones that I can see. But I'm like,
Mhm.
do y'all have, what are they called? What do they count? Oh, I just forgot. Whatever.
I'm hungry.
Go eat, because look, I'm sleepy.
I'm both.
I ate before the show. I had my meal craft. Y'all, this is not a sponsor shout out at all. This is just me saying, giving y'all a location to get some good, healthy food if you're in Bahrain. Mealcraft. We do their subscription. Yep, we have their monthly subscription, and we order our food beginning of the week. It is cooked fresh. We pick it up every week, bring it home, heat it up. Boom, boom. My husband does the lunch. Yeah, we do. My husband does the lunch and dinner.
Oh.
And then me and Helen just do the dinner. She do the lunch and dinner too, but she just does the dinner. But all healthy food. We do the for Sunday. Let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We do the 5-day plan. So they have a 5-day and a 6-day plan. Yeah, so we do the 5-day plan.
Well,
but you can do walk-ins as well, and they'll make a salad. Like you can do a salad with an add some protein, but we do their meal subscription.
It sounds delicious.
Go
It
in and
sounds
pick
delicious.
it up.
It does.
And then I sit and chat because the owner, I love talking to the owner. She's really sweet.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
She even helped Ayla with her Arabic when she came back for the summer.
So
we went by.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
That is nice.
So if you're in Bahrain, you go cook.
Mealscraft.
Already ate.
Yes.
Mealcraft.
The cruise kitchen is open right now. Cruise craft. What's going on in this house right now?
Yeah,
But Mealcraft sounds like a great idea. It actually sounds like an awesome idea.
It's cool. It is cool. I'm gonna go have a beef jerky. I need to go eat my Slim Jim.
Okay. Do you like the Tabasco ones?
I do, but I prefer the original.
Really? I just am addicted to those Tabasco. And I go to the store and they're like, we ran out. What? I'm gonna tear this whole store. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not like that for real. I'm not like that for everybody. Don't think I'm like that for Alan. I just go to a different store.
She kicked me out yesterday.
I didn't. I was just like, well, I gotta go grill this food now. But it's hot. Did you want me to have you out there just profusely sweating?
No, but it was funny because we were just talking. And I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, what time is it?
Right. It was like, what are we doing? Why are you still here? Like, I gotta go get my food. I gotta get my meal craft. I was like, so I went and changed and put my swimsuit on. And I went out because it was so hot. But the pool is not hot. So I was like, okay, this is cool. But it was hot. And I was grilling. And it was hot. So I don't think you would have appreciated me at all being like, come on out here while I grill. You'd be like, be in here. Or in my car, I'm about to go. You would have left anyway. Should have been like, girl, I'm about to go. You crazy.
Like, I'm going home. I got to go. All right.
Well, Miss Lady, I'm gonna see you later.
Good night. It's time to go. Do 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 do. All right. For real, folks. Thank y'all for continuing watching us for the Tea After Dark. This was this impromptu ramble that we had going on.
I know.
Sorry.
I was so shocked.
I know, because usually I'm like, all right, bye.
She'd be
It won't
like, kick
happen
us out
again.
of the studio. Get out the broadcast studio. Go about your
It
business.
won't happen again.
Yes, it will.
Bye.